This guy right here came to our showroom and stole our 2020 wide-body Challenger. I've been selling cars for 21 years, and in that 21 years, I've never had a car stolen. But with 2020 fashion, we had it happen twice. My first instance of someone trying to steal a car from me happened way back in 2001 when somebody tried to write us bad checks. That person got prosecuted and went to jail. In 2003, I had my second instance of basically the same thing. A bad check, we knew about it, we called the police, they went with the deal, and off to prison they went. Since 2001 and 2002, technology has gotten greater, both for the criminal and for us to protect you. I don't want to go into great detail because that allows people to know what our safety protocols and identity theft protocols are, so that way you can counteract them. But there's a lot of things that happen in those offices back there to make sure when you're buying a car that you are who you are, and you're not trying to steal someone's identity. But this guy right here and probably some people behind the scenes outsmarted us. This all started one afternoon, just like thousands of other internet leads that we get. This gentleman claimed to be from Chicago with a pre-approval from a major bank. He was interested in our wide-body 2020 Challenger RT Scat pack and wanted to come down and take delivery of it. A few days went by and we finally made a deal. Now, why a thief would work a deal is kind of goofball, but maybe that's part of the ploy to just not lay down and say, I'll take it, and we have red flags. A couple of things that we want to do prior to you getting here is getting the driver's license. That's pretty common practice just because it allows me as a salesperson to work a little bit more efficiently. And once the deal's worked out, we get a deposit. That way it holds the vehicle until you get here. Now, this gentleman did not want to leave a deposit, which is kind of odd because he was driving from 6 hours away. His excuse of not giving us deposit is that he spent too much money on Christmas. That's a little bit of a red flag, and it seemed odd to the salesperson involved with this because this person had an 800 plus credit score. So spending too much money usually isn't an issue with those 800 credit scores. So this person decided to say, hey, listen, I'll get insurance on the car. Would that hold it for you? It really doesn't, but we said, sure, go ahead and get insurance on it. So this gentleman does schedule an appointment to come down to the dealership and arrives pretty late in the day, like 6 o'clock or so. He did ask us to have all the paperwork done so that way he could get back on the road and head back towards Chicago. This isn't like such a odd request. It happens a lot, but he was pretty persistent with us. Now remember, he had a pre-approval online from a major bank out there, and for us to do things, all we have to do is submit it to the bank again and say this is the collateral, and they say we're good to go. When he gets here, he's just pretty chill. He's not like over sweaty or anxiety or tapping his foot or anything like that. But at the same time, what we as car sales professionals, we can read people very, very well, and just some things weren't adding up. So we did our extra protocols as a dealership to try to make sure that there was no theft or identity theft involved. So I know in the comment section, you guys are gonna have a lot of opinions on what could have happened different, but let me tell you, our spidey senses were going off. We were doing everything we could to protect our asset, to protect any identity theft, stuff like that. This is normal protocol on every single deal, and we deliver 600, 700 deals per month. So one of the things we did is we made this person get us a utility bill to prove where he lived. This dude printed a utility bill for a utility company at his address. We checked, dead on. With the other few protection processes in place, he passed them all absolutely excellent. So we had no choice and to just go ahead and do the deal, right? We had him sign everything and off he went with his brand new 2020 wide-body Challenger. Matter of fact, he even took a picture with it, as you're seeing here on the screen. Now, I want my 2020 wide-body Challenger back. I'm gonna tell you exactly how we figured this was fraud here in a second, but I posted this on Facebook and Instagram, and I didn't want to do a video on this because I didn't really want it to get all the information out there. I gave a little bit of information to try to get our car back, but it's been a few weeks now, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen. With my investigation, I have found out that I believe this gentleman's name is Daniel Edwards. Now, Mr. Edwards is from the Columbia Columbus, Ohio area. And you're gonna be like, well, Mike, you told me this guy came from Chicago. Yes, that's what he said. His identification was from Chicago. His utility bill, perfectly fraudulated, was from Chicago. But with my investigation, what I did, and I can't really go into detail how I did this stuff, I found out that this guy was named Daniel Edwards from Columbus, Ohio. And once I posted that out on Instagram and Facebook, I actually had several police officers from Ohio reach out to me. One, they're like, how did you get this guy's name? And I said, do you want his phone number too? Because I got his phone number. So here's how we were enlightened that our car was in fact stolen, and we had a case of identity theft. The gentleman's identity that he stolen called us the very next day. Yes, 12 to 15 hours after the fact of us pulling his credit. Now, mind you, a very large bank here in the United States pulled his credit at least 3 days prior, at least. So his Credit Karma, his credit agency reporting, whatever the case may be, did not alert him in time. And I would tell you that to make sure that you have some sort of credit reporting agency and multiple of them to protect you in the event of identity theft. That's the only reason I use Credit Karma, is to make sure that everything is accurate on my credit bureau, and then also to make sure that if my credit is pulled, that I know right away. Now, this could be a Credit Karma issue that credit was not identified yet until the very next day. So there's who knows what you could do as a consumer to prevent this from happening. LifeLock, maybe, they don't sponsor this channel, but that's an option. So the next day, this guy calls us and says, why'd you pull my credit? And we explained that you bought a car last night. He explained to us, no, we didn't. We did some other safety protocols to make sure that this wasn't someone, hating on this guy or X or whatever the case may be. And turned out, yeah, that our car was stolen. So as I'm talking to the police, we find out that this person has gone up and down Columbus, Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio, all over Ohio, and have done this multiple times. And I've had dealerships call me and say, this happened to us as well, the exact same person. So keep this name and this face in mind if you're a dealer, if you're a private citizen, and most importantly, you have to be wary of cars you buy. There are far more scams on the private market than there is on the dealership level, because I found our 2020 Widebody for sale on Facebook Marketplace for $15,000. Yes, a $50,000 car for $15,000. And yes, this is someone's real Facebook profile, because you can see there that he started his Facebook profile in 2010. The police have been notified, so if you know this gentleman, see this gentleman, just contact the police and get my 2020 Widebody Challenger back.